Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Leprechaun 2. This time, luck has nothing to do with it.
Directed by Rodman Flender, starring Warwick Davis, Charlie Heath, and Shevonne Durkin, Leprechaun 2 is about the leprechaun looking for a bride. So what do we like?
Like every Leprechaun movie, Warwick Davis as the leprechaun. It's great because this is the start of the witty leprechaun that we're used to seeing. The more rhyming, crazy antics style of leprechaun.
You have his cheekbones.
Some of these crazy antics once again include Warwick Davis driving a little go-kart around. So there's always a chase scene in these movies, and it's great because they really upped their game this time. They poke fun at a lot of Irish stereotypes where we have the leprechaun getting in a drinking challenge. Unlike the first Leprechaun, we're also introduced to some new kills and some more practical effects. So, well, there's not a ton in this movie. There are some very unique kills and very unique sexy kills. So we do get some boobs in this movie, as well as like a grotesque face from being steamed.
The best part about that scene is Michael McDonald from Mad TV fame.
Maybe you're a little short. Boom, gotcha.
And the buildup was really good because it's funny, and the payoff for the kill just was the icing on the cake, or the foam on the latte.
So what didn't we like?
Despite the era, I actually disliked the soundtrack in this movie. It just seemed very out of place. Like, it wasn't goofy and it wasn't serious. It was like in between, and I'd rather them go just in one direction instead of both.
Again, being that this is a 90s movie, the comedy is very 90s, so a lot of the humor is much drier than we're used to.
Finger licking good.
I mean, they are poking jokes, but they're all jokes that we've now heard our entire lives. So it doesn't strike the same chords that I think it wants to, watching it now 20 years later.
Some of the editing bothered me in this film. Just the transition between the characters going into different rooms, because it was a little confusing. I know they were toying with the idea of magic and being lost in the labyrinth, but there's certain moments where they're in the tree and then in the house, and there's no real establishment as to what is going on. It was just confusing.
A lot of the tree sequences and like the final act of the film was actually really boring too. We have the leprechaun's bride-to-be and her boyfriend, or whatever he is, just kind of running around within this labyrinth. And it goes on for quite some time. I think that every aspect of the interior of the leprechaun's lair was just boring and out of place. It was more of like a fantasy element, and I can understand that, but it felt like labyrinth.
And there's a lot of things in the leprechaun's lair that aren't explained. We get his bride digging up some chest. It looks like it has significant importance, but it doesn't. Like, it actually doesn't. She uses something as a weapon, and it doesn't even affect him, and there's no explanation why he has all these trinkets and tools.
In saying that the final act was slow, the first act was also slow. We do see the leprechaun right away, so that's great because you know exactly what you're getting into. But once we meet Cody and Morty, there's probably 20 minutes where nothing really happens. It's essentially Cody trying to get Morty to drive some people around, which inevitably leads to the leprechaun's appearance. And it's really like long-winded for no reason.
I really wasn't a fan of Shevonne Durkin's character, Bridget, but more importantly, Shevonne Durkin's acting. It wasn't really good. Like, all of her lines felt emotionless, her reactions were very dull and boring. The only time that she was really believable was when she was seducing the leprechaun.
Every other aspect of her character was just monotone. Maybe that's why I didn't like all the labyrinth scenes, because those were all of her scenes. I think that character was just nothing more than the princess is in another castle kind of situation. Like, she's Princess Peach, and we got Cody as Mario trying to rescue her, and that's her role. She didn't have a personality.
Which is sad because the focus of this film is supposed to be about the leprechaun getting this bride. Yet we have this side story about the gold. It's just a real mess of a story, and they're trying to develop certain characters that we don't care about and not focusing on Cody's development, who really should be the main character.
Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings.
I remember Leprechaun 2 as this amazing film because I was a teenager, because I saw a great set of boobs and some kills. Coming back to rewatch this film, it's not as great as I remember it. Adult me isn't appreciating it as much as teenage me was. This film was really slow, and there wasn't as many kills as I remember. Though the Leprechaun himself was absolutely witty and hilarious, and I really do like Warwick Davis as this character, so it is enjoyable. But the story was just way too weak for me, and I didn't really care a lot for the characters other than the Leprechaun. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this 2.5 hilarious stare downs out of 5.
Like John, I remembered Leprechaun 2 as this glorious film because I think it was probably the first movie that I saw on TV that had boobs in it. But watching this movie back, it's pretty boring. There's not a lot to like as an adult. And if you haven't seen Leprechaun 2, I don't think you're gonna get much from it because the humor just isn't there. It might have been there in the 90s, but I'd even argue that. Warwick Davis, of course, did a great job. And this movie is good in the sense that it was setting Leprechaun up for the ridiculousness that is to come from 3 through 6. So I'm gonna give this 2 slimy leprechaun kisses out of 5. As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on Leprechaun 2. And if you haven't seen it and you want to check it out, there are links in the description where you can find it on Amazon. And make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond.